Communication could be thought of in many ways, but is commonly defined as the process of simulating meaning through sending a message verbally or nonverbally. The nonverbal messages that a person interprets and establishes meaning to is nonverbal communication. We will be taking a closer look at the nonverbal behaviors of physical appearance, gesture and movements, face and eye behavior, vocal behavior, space, touch, and time to reveal their meanings. I encourage you to look beyond the words. We will start with the kind of message you're sending just through your appearance. Your appearance is the first message you send when you encounter any person. The first time you meet someone, they will most likely make a judgment about you. It is important to make sure that your appearance sends off positive messages.
An important part of your appearance is the way you dress. Wearing a hoodie and sweatpants show that you are more interested in comfort than looking attractive.
Based exclusively on the clothing you choose, people around you will make assumptions about your educational level, economic level, level of sophistication, level of success, and how trustworthy you are.
By dressing formally, you have the ability to enhance others' perception of your status. An outfit like this will send a message that you are successful and sophisticated.
For the next segment, we will discuss the use of kinesthetics, or, in other words, body movements and gestures. This communicative aspect focuses mainly on hand, finger, arm, and head movements, facial expression, posture, and the way you walk. Be sure to remember that the meaning of gestures and body movements depend on culture and the context of your conversation.
A college student returns home from her exam. She has slouched shoulders, she is dragging her feet, and has a frown on her face. Based on her posture, facial expression, and the way she's walking, she could assume that she is having a bad day or did not do well.
If she did not want her roommate to ask about her day, she could have modified her nonverbal behaviors by using the facial management technique of masking. This technique is used to repress the actual expression from the emotion you are feeling and mask it with a different expression for that situation. This leads us to the nonverbal messages we can form through face and eye behaviors. Oculesics, or eye behavior, and facial behaviors send important messages like expressing emotion and regulating interaction between people. The message your face and eyes send are important because they are usually what people focus on during a conversation or interaction.
During an interaction, people can evaluate your expressions through the facial effects scoring technique, which separates the face into 3 areas: the eyebrows, the forehead, the eyelids, and the lower face.
Anger is one of the emotions that is harder to identify by using only one part of the face.
By looking at only one part of her face, you may perceive the wrong emotion, but by looking at her lower face, forehead, and brows, you can see she's expressing anger.
You can also strategically use your eye behaviors to end a conversation or show that you are uninterested in the interaction through gaze aversion.
As one person uses gaze aversion to show they are uninterested in the conversation, the other person receives the message that they do not wish to communicate.
The communicative aspect of vocalics, or vocal behavior, focuses on characteristics of your voice. Vocalics could be used to make an audience perceive you as a confident and persuasive speaker. The vocal qualities that will help influence an audience are volume control, rate, pitch, good articulation, fluent, and effective pauses. We can listen and learn from the following speaker.
Hello, my name is Kaylee Gallagher, and I would like to tell you about how understanding the secrets of nonverbal communication can make you more successful. I will start with the documentary, What Words...
By speaking loud enough that her audience could hear her, maintaining a semi-fast rate, using pitch to clarify and accentuate, speaking clearly, using effective pauses, and allowing her message to flow together, she would be perceived as a successful speaker. Next, we will discuss the use of proxemics, or space while communicating. Culture should always be considered when thinking about the appropriate amount of space, but in the United States, there are 4 interpersonal distance zones. They include the intimate zone, casual personal zone, social consultative zone, and public zone.
The intimate distance is only appropriate for close friends and loved ones. This zone ranges from touching to about 18 inches apart. The casual personal zone ranges from about 18 inches to 4 feet, and this zone is for friends and relatives. The socio-consultative distance is anywhere from 4 to 8 feet away from another person. This zone is commonly used in business settings. The public zone is used when you don't know someone. For example, if you're giving a speech, you will stand at least 8 feet away from the audience.
Moving on. Haptics can be defined as the communicative aspect of touch, which is the most potent nonverbal message in communication in the United States, because it is commonly perceived as inappropriate in our culture. So what does touch communicate? The use of touch is a very effective way of communicating emotion in interpersonal relationships.
In an emotional situation between close friends, touching may communicate sympathy and support to the other person.
Touch can also be used to communicate status or dominance.
A superior is more likely to touch than a subordinate.
Chronemics, or the communicative aspect of time, sends a strong message in the United States culture that helps let people know how much we care or feel about an idea or person. Showing up late to a meeting can be perceived as being uninterested in what is about to be discussed, whereas showing up on time can show that you care about the person or event.
Imagine you are sitting around waiting for your friend who is always late. They arrive, late as usual, and they sit on your couch and don't even bother apologizing. You may start to think this person does not care enough about your friendship to ever be on time.
After reviewing some of the many forms of nonverbal communication, you have learned the ways that your nonverbal behaviors can be perceived and how to modify the nonverbal behaviors to be perceived differently. You now have the ability to send messages that words can't say.